Hello everybody, and welcome to our first live episode of the Thin Veil Project. We are in season 1, episode 3, so just getting started. And I was like, what better way to kick off a series, my first season, than to have my bestie, New Orleans psychic medium, CARI Roy.
Oh, thank you so much, Misty. Thanks so much for having me. It's my honor to be here and be a part of this really cool project that you put together. It's like the paranormal. You need to know it. You need to tune in because you're going to know it here, really. You really get such great subject matter. And there's so much subject matter here in New Orleans. You know, we're just drenched in paranormal phenomena.
We are. You can go anywhere, talk to anyone, and people are going to have experiences, or even if they don't understand, they've been touched by the paranormal somehow. And then that's what we're doing is on this project is we're wanting to learn everything about what the unexplained and the paranormal. So here we go. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to talk for a while and different subjects about, like I said, the paranormal and mediumship and the unexplained. And then later, we're going to take you with us and we're going to investigate a room that we previously have investigated before, the famous room 114 here at the Haunted Hotel where we're filming from. So you'll get to go on an actual, we're going to just do a mini investigation, but you'll get to come along with us, and you might see something, you may not, you never know, because sometimes the ghosts are just like human beings and kind of testy.
Well, sometimes they're testy, but they make noises, they do all sorts of things, and so there's many ways that spirits can let us know that they're around us. So yeah, I'm excited. Is that the room that we were in where the knock was? Is that?
It is next to it.
Oh, it's the cold room?
The cold room,
oh,
yes.
Goodness.
Yes, that's
wow.
the one.
Yeah.
And that's the one that we, Catherine and I and our friends, Halloween, that we came and investigated Halloween night.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
in that room, and it was really popping on Halloween night.
Very
I must
active.
say. Oh yeah. So I've got my ghost hunting equipment just so we can, see what's going on, and we haven't investigated together in a long time.
It's been a while.
What? Maybe a year.
It's been a year, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh,
I think the last time it was here, right?
It was here,
yeah, I think that was last time, and that was winter time last year, so it's over a year.
Yeah, and it was I think in November, and we were cold, and we were shooting here, there, in the Axeman's room, and it was just really, we got that knock in room 113, but 114 I've always considered here at the hotel to be one of my favorite places here in the hotel to investigate, because it definitely is active.
Oh, very much so. I remember that room now, the cold room,
the cold room.
That there were several entities that we found in the room, and that made their presence known to us using one of those devices, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's the train whistle, because we're in New Orleans and the train just runs through here, so you might be hearing that a little bit in the background.
Right,
that's
train.
Not a ghost.
Right, that's not a ghost, and if you hear growling, that is also not a ghost. That would be Kalua, who on yesterday's show, on my other talk show, she was sassy and just showing out.
Yeah.
You know how she does.
Yeah, we have a mascot. She's a puppy. She's a mascot who's joining us today too. She's our guard dog. If any of those entities get any ideas, Kalua is just going to run us off.
She'll either run them off or run.
Or run. Yeah, she'll do one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go. I know that you used to do a lot of paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And so, do you mind telling us some of the places
that you
background?
Sure.
That you did for that?
I started doing paranormal investigations in New Orleans in the early to the mid 90s. There was a gentleman who lived here at the time from here. He's passed. And he was a parapsychologist. He did paranormal investigations. And so he brought me along into a lot of the well-known places that are haunted, like, for example, Muriel's.
Yes.
We went there when it was the Chart House. Before it was Muriel's, and we found a ghost that is now well known as being a Muriel's ghost. We discovered when it was the Chart House back before Muriel's was there. Let's see, O'Flaherty's Irish Pub. That was a very active place. The Le Petit Theater of Dupree, right, was very active, still is.
No doubt, yes.
Still is very active. We went to a lot of places. I did a documentary about Julie the Spirit that's on Royal Street above the 732. There's a gallery there now. There used to be a shop.
Okay.
But above that, I did a documentary with A&E back in the mid-90s about that. And also, I did another documentary in the early 2000s that was called New Orleans Rich and Haunted. And that we went to a lot of properties. We went to the Monteleone, we went to Brennan's, we went to Port of Two Sisters. I'm forgetting some places. Oh, the Royal Street Cafe was so haunted back in the day. That's not been there for a very long time, but that place was super, super haunted. Really, basically, everything in the quarter is paranormal, experiences waiting to happen. I really believe that. I think the whole city is.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. It's, we were talking to some people that were staying here, and, they were like, oh, I kind of felt weird in my room last night, or they didn't know that their room was supposed to be one of the haunted rooms. And so, it's just amazing how that even if you don't know and you're not, familiar with the paranormal, that you still can pick up on things. And it's just how that you process and what you do with it that makes you a believer or a non-believer.
Or a non-believer, but if you're going to have a paranormal experience, chances are it'll happen in New Orleans,
Oh, yeah.
It's, again, what you're saying, people who don't even come here to have those experiences have those experiences. And, that's why we have all of these wonderful tours that are going on here. What you're going to be doing here, which is like a hands-on paranormal investigation. These are things that really lend themselves. I mean, they're filming Interview with a Vampire right down the block,
right.
Because we are a hubbub of the paranormal. That's why, American Horror Story and all of those things have taken such a strong foothold here, is because it really is who we are. And anybody can have the experience. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to be a medium. All you need to do is show up and be open and be aware.
Right. Because what I kind of didn't think about before, or maybe I did, but kind of brushed over it, being a medium and a psychic is different than paranormal.
Well,
it kind of maybe goes hand in hand.
It overlaps.
But it's like everybody that's a psychic medium is not necessarily a ghost investigator.
Absolutely.
Everybody that investigates hauntings aren't psychic mediums.
So. Absolutely. But we tend to work together. Mm-hmm. Psychic mediums and paranormal investigators, psychic mediums and parapsychologists. The research that scientists are doing, they need us to do the research on. They need the psychic mediums to kind of facilitate those experiences. So we really do work hand in hand. They've got to test us. You know what I mean? They're not going to test a paranormal investigator to see if they've got abilities. They're going to test a
They'll just look at the
medium.
proof sometimes to see, and they'll run through and say, okay, well, this hasn't been photoshopped or hasn't been altered in any way. So it is kind of a test in some ways, but not to the degree that if you have psychic medium abilities, how that would be tested.
Sure.
Because, sometimes it's, that you're probably put in a situation where you have some asshole, I'll say, that says, oh, well, prove it to me.
Sure.
And, it's like...
Well, what I say when somebody says prove it to me is I ask them how much research they've actually looked at, because the people that really don't believe in anything paranormal, and there are about 25% of the population who really don't believe in paranormal stuff. From the most recent surveys or polls, I think it's Rasmussen report said that there was about 75% of people in the U.S. who said that they have had paranormal experiences, and they do believe it. So,
which is higher than what it was probably when you first started out investigating and doing your thing. It's like probably a major thing. So
a huge shift. Yeah, it's a huge shift.
We told you about the dog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a huge shift. When I first started doing things like this, I mean, I started with my mother doing things, but it was more like seances, mediumship I did with her. That was starting actually more like in the 1960s and the 1970s, and it was very rare back then. You know, it's only recently, maybe over the last 20 years, you had people like Ghost Hunters, that television show, that really popularized the whole paranormal investigation experiences.
Right.
And then you have, you know, people like Teresa Caputo, John Edwards, you know, who have really, you know, popularized the whole medium psychic stuff. So now it's much more acceptable than it used to be.
And one of the things one of the many things that I like about you is, you know, because you don't go into a room and start reading multiple people.
No.
You know, it is a one-on-one
Experience.
Yeah. And to me, you know, like if you pay your ticket and you go and you're in this room like of 50 people.
Yeah.
And you're not chosen as one of the spirits, you know, like your mom or your dad or whomever isn't coming through, then you feel like I've done something wrong, or they don't love me, or what. But more of a one-on-one type thing that you do is more of an intimate and more where you can focus and not have like 25 other people's spirits come in wanting attention, because once that you turn that switch on,
it gets very hard to filter.
It is.
You really can't filter it. And I have ADD, you know, and so for me, being in a room full of, you know, 50 people, each of them having at least one ancestor around them, more like 2 or 3, because everybody has many spirits around them at any given moment, who are watching over us. It becomes like everybody screaming at once, and I can't focus at all. So I need to do it one-on-one. And in my experience, I think that people actually get a better quality experience when they have my undivided attention. And it's all just about them and the people that are coming there to connect with them from the spirit world. I think that the shows that, you know, many mediums do, they don't, I think, replace having a one-on-one medium reading. Teresa Caputo really does one-on-one medium readings. They do the group readings for the theater experience. They do the group readings on the show sometimes. But really, what her real forte is one-on-ones too. Jonathan Edwards too. They did group things because it's just a way of being able to facilitate giving more readings to people, but it was never ever intended as being a replacement for getting a reading one-on-one with a medium.
If you would like a reading with CARI Roy, you can go to, is it info@New Orleans Psychic?
Yeah, they can email info@NewOrleansPsychic, or just go online. It's www.neworleanspsychic.com. NewOrleansPsychic.com, and that will give you all of the information about me. I also have several associates working with me as well. And if anyone is interested in getting a reading, that's the best way to start.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can just reach out and you'll be booked, and believe me, it'll be a wonderful experience. So, yeah.
Thank you. You're very kind.
So what are some of the things that you kind of do? Because I know that, like, when you deal with spirits and people, like living people all the time, and then you have the spirits also that's in the mix. Like, what are some things that you do to kind of relax and just kind of, you know, kind of block everything out for a while and kind of regroup?
I really listen to rock and roll. That's probably the number one thing that I do. It's almost like meditation to me. I used to meditate quite avidly for most of my life. Starting in the 1970s, I started meditating and did for many, many years. I still meditate, but now listening to music, unwinding with friends, crossword puzzles. I like to shoot pool.
Like shoot pool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Those are things that help me unwind. I know you do karaoke.
I do.
You know, you do a lot of wonderful things too, you know, and so I like to do that, to unwind and unplug. It's completely the opposite of doing readings for people. I can go into a zone.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I kind of release that energy from me.
Right, because you have to have that. Because if you just continually, like, read, and kind of live in that realm or you just can't, because it's out so much from you. It's like you give yourself to, a piece of you.
Oh, sure.
That when you're doing the readings and stuff, it's like a piece of you goes with that, because it's the way that you're in tune and getting, your gift. And so, I was just wondering, the audience wondering how, what things that you did to kind of relax and kind of,
Well,
woosah.
one of the things that I do is that I do in the morning, I wake up very early in the morning. Again, I spend some meditative time preparing for my day. I do grounding and centering, exercise to make sure that I'm here and I'm fully present and able to be 100% for each person that I sit down and meet with. So I do a lot of preparation for it. But again, when I'm done for the day, I'm done. I don't take it home with me. The first thing I do, I get in the car, crank up music. And that puts me in the zone where I don't have to think about what the day has been, but what's most important is for me to be present 100% for each and every single client that comes into my office, and give them 110%, 120%, whatever it takes for them to have a wonderful connection, either in a medium reading where they've connected to people who have passed before them, or whether it's a psychic reading where they want to know about their future, relationships, career, family matters. The most that we do as psychics is that we really do, in order to be able to utilize those gifts, we really have to be present, and meditation helps that probably better than anything else.
I know that it helps me. You gave me a particular meditation to do, and so if anybody would like to know what that is, I can, just message me and I can let you know. But it truly is, I can tell such a difference, from doing that. Because when people think of mediums and, they think that you're on 24/7.
Yeah.
And like, you walk in a room and you're like, is that something that you do, or do you just turn yourself off if you just learn to kind of live with it? Or just
turn it off, because in order to, I'm in my 60s. I've been doing this professionally for about 40 years coming up, and so in order to have been able to sustain being able to be present for people, I can't use it indiscriminately 24 hours a day. My mother taught me a lot about how to use my abilities, because she was also a medium and a psychic. And she told me at the very beginning, she was like, little girl, we're going to teach you how to turn this off, and then we'll teach you how to turn it back on. But it was overwhelming to me as a child, and I don't think if I didn't learn how to master that and how to become more in control of those abilities, that I would be able to serve the people that I do in my, profession, and be able to be there all the time. If I was just walking into the grocery store and, feeling what the checkout girl was, how many dead people are with her, and the people in the lines, and the guy at the luncheon meat counter, I couldn't be able to then be able to give somebody a good reading. I would just be constantly drained. So it's very important to learn how to monitor it, to not let it overwhelm you, because you can't, it just will burn you out. It's a reason that you see a lot of readers that just get older and they get a little weird, because it's too much. It really is.
Right. I definitely, can understand that. So let's talk about any upcoming projects that you may have coming up.
Oh, well, I have some stuff coming up that's very exciting. am going to be on a national program. I can't talk about it yet. I really can't, but I'm going to be on a national program soon, and I will definitely be posting it as we get closer to the date. But that's very exciting. It's a little kind of under the radar right now, just because they want, it hasn't aired yet, and so it's too soon for me to really give all of the details, but it's very, very exciting, and that's super cool. You and I are going to be doing some more investigations as we're moving forward,
Yes.
Which is always something that I look forward to. And so,
I get asked all the time, like, when are we, and I'm like, we're going to do it. Just, you have a crazy schedule. I have a crazy schedule. I'm
We
just
do.
trying to, like, us getting to do this, like you come here tonight is a big deal because, like I said, our schedules are just crazy. So.
Yeah. And you have a lot of great projects coming up too. I know you've got a lot of cool stuff happening. Yeah.
So we're going to be here May the 21st here at the Haunted Hotel, May the 21st and June the 4th, and we're going to be hosting a live ghost hunt. Catherine will be joining us too, and that's where you get to come, use some of the equipment. We'll take you to the most haunted rooms, and actually everywhere here has got something going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but some places more than others. But, that way you can immerse yourself in it and go on an actual true ghost investigation.
Yeah, a real paranormal investigation, and this is a very haunted spot.
It is. I
Yeah.
feel good here. It's kind of I have a weird relationship with the Haunted Hotel because I love coming here. I love the courtyard. I love it.
It's beautiful.
It is, and what they've done with it is so nice, and I love that part, and I feel serene. But then when I go to just different places here at the hotel, I don't feel as great. I feel because he watches sometimes.
Sure.
And just when we did that last investigation, when you and it was just really.
Oh, it was heavy.
Yeah, and
it was heavy.
I really believe that he maybe kind of followed me a little bit or something because it was just really prevalent.
Yes.
So I just really have to protect myself when I come here, but it's all right.
Yeah, I feel that this is a very, every property in the quarter has generations of experiences that have happened here. And you can feel it here because it isn't just the Axeman.
It's not.
Just the Axeman. There are other spirits, people who owned this home, people who had this building.
The nuns.
The nuns.
Back in
yeah.
1700
In
something.
the 1700s.
It was
yeah.
first a convent, so
you can feel
yeah.
it. You can feel these layers here. And that's what I think makes it such an interesting experience. And yeah, the courtyard is lovely. The rooms are great. It's very New Orleans. You are right in the heart of everything. And you get that little lagniappe, which is the little spirits element of this place, that you're never really going to be alone in your room.
Yeah, and that's definitely. We stayed overnight actually in the Axeman's room, Halloween night or Halloween Eve, and we were just taking a break and resting. And of course, I'm like up with my eyes open, and Catherine's asleep, and I could hear like little taps and little stuff moving, and it was definitely something going on in the room, the Axeman's room, and the room below it.
Yes,
That's the room you wouldn't even go in.
I wouldn't even go in that room.
That room
Yeah.
there was really, really active. And one of the room here on the end is extremely active. And it's where allegedly they have the steel coffin buried under the ground, and they have two here in the courtyard that's buried.
Oh wow! Okay.
That was
Yeah.
the steel, that's in the steel. And the reason that they said that the people are buried in the steel coffins is because they were so bad that even the spirit world didn't want them.
Sure.
Yeah.
That they needed to contain.
They
their
just stay
evil.
here, right? They were
Yeah.
so evil. So we have that one. And one room that I haven't investigated yet is the top one up there, right there. And reportedly a lady was murdered
Oh yeah.
in there. So,
Yeah.
so we won't get to investigate any of those
That
things.
explains a lot.
Okay.
That explains a lot of what I was feeling last time too, when we were connecting with that woman upstairs, and it felt that there was something wrong with that. There
Yes.
was a woman in distress.
Yes.
So we definitely felt that there had been a woman in distress there. So, yeah, very interesting.
Right. So we're going to go in just a few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit more, but in just a few minutes, I wanted to show y'all some of the ghost hunting equipment if you don't know yet. This is called an ovulus, and what it does is you turn it on, and it has a dictionary of hundreds and hundreds of words, and it will, it is where the spirits can. It said peace.
Peace.
9. It said the number 9 in peace. So we keep this one going, and CARI, who got me this set of the L rods or Dowson rods, and you always would stick me with doing them.
Yeah, because
you're not supposed to talk.
well, you're very good at this. Yeah, you're very good at them.
When you're holding these, and you beforehand you give it, like cross yes, cross for yes, uncross for no. And if you're doing these, you actually are not supposed to be the one talking. So that's why CARI, I'm the one that holds it. And then you're really also not supposed to let people use your rods. Is that right?
Well, I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
I think.
So if I told you, I'll scratch that.
Well, I mean, people like their own equipment, and people don't like other people messing around with their equipment.
Right.
But not, there's no real hard, fast rule for
Okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all can use my rods the next time. But I just here at the haunted hotel, they're really they will really work.
Yes.
Respond.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking, so that doesn't count. You gotta get real still. Okay. Is there anybody with us tonight? If there's anybody with us, will you please move the rods forward? Wow. Okay. So, it looks like we have somebody who's already here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's how that works. And you hold them in a relaxed way so that you're not tense. You don't want rigidity.
Right.
You want to just kind of stand there with them naturally. And they move. And when they start to move, you can actually feel the energy going down your hands. Going down your arms into your hands. It's almost like a tingling, right? Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, definitely. That's what,
Yeah.
because I can actually feel it when it's happening in my palm.
Yes.
Mostly, and that's real. I wanted to ask you though before we started, is there anything like memorable, like something that maybe you've seen, a ghost or a spirit or something like really memorable that you?
In my life?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
good Lord.
Yeah, like what would be the one that was? Excuse us.
Yeah. I've had so many unique and interesting paranormal experiences since I was a child. Starting from the first time that I ever saw spirits, I was on Royal Street with my mom, and I was pretty young. I was a little kid, and it was in the summertime, and there was hardly anybody on the street. It was really hot as hell, and there was nobody in town, nobody on the street. My mother was holding my hand, we were walking down the street. And then all of a sudden, I saw a whole, 100 people. It felt like they came out of nowhere. And I thought it was Mardi Gras, because they all looked like they were in costumes. And I came to understand later that it really wasn't costumes. They were in different periods of time. And so I thought it was costumes, because I saw people from the 1800s. I saw people from the 1700s. I saw people from the 1920s looking back on it, just the different people that I saw. And I fainted because I was overwhelmed by seeing that many people. And I never wanted to see that many people again, ever in my life. It scared me. And when it came up, I was asking my mother about the people. And that's when my mother realized that there was something that I was perceiving. And because she was a medium and also psychic, she kind of understood that I was talking about dead people. And I never wanted to have that happen again. I've seen spirits. I've seen many spirits. One of the documentaries that I was in, I was connecting with a spirit at the San Francisco plantation, and they captured on film on the thermocam, those cameras that are heat.
Yes.
They do the heat stuff. On the thermocam, while I was communicating with the spirits, they caught on camera a sphere, like a ball of energy, just getting bigger and bigger.
Like an orb or different?
Like an orb, big though.
Big
no,
orb?
like and it kept growing and growing and
Oh, wow.
growing. It wasn't an orb like on camera. It was like a round ball of energy that just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as I started to lose communication, it got smaller and then it just went away. I was in Hollywood or LA, and we were doing a paranormal investigation of one of the old movie studios there. We connected with the actor Bob Crane, who had a very Hogan's Heroes.
Yes, I know about
But
his
he
death
had
and
a
all
little
that.
weird, thing. And
yes.
so what they caught on camera with the thermal cam is that they caught his hands on my legs, his handprints on my legs.
I would not doubt that.
And that was really, really creepy because I was getting
Were
all
you in
creeped
the-
out.
like, where
I was
he-
in the movie. No,
No,
we
in
were
the
in
thi-
the
where it
TV
was-
studios.
okay, got you.
Where they filmed Hogan Heroes.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, and so we were in those movie studios. Lucille Ball had done her shows there, but Hogan's Heroes was filmed there, and we connected with him. And then they, caught the camera with the two handprints on my legs.
Wow, I know that was unnerving.
It was so unnerving.
Oh, yeah.
So, those are just some of the experiences. There have been a lot of experiences that are completely not explainable in any other way than paranormal.
Well, I tell you what, I would like to thank everybody for coming out and being a part of the studio audience. And we're going to be giving away, actually, we're going to be giving away tonight a much sought after treat. And that is a reading. You'll get a gift certificate for a free reading with CARI Roy.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep. Get a complimentary reading.
Yes, instead of free, complimentary is the better word.
Complimentary.
Yes, I like that word better than free. So, yeah. So, as soon as Catherine gets back here, we're going to thank Catherine for working the camera tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine, for working the camera. And we have been kind of dealing with the elements out here with planes going across and trains going.
And heat,
And
glue up, all the
Kahlua.
above. But we're getting ready we're going to go up to room 114. So if you want to stay here at the Haunted Hotel and request room 114.
114, yeah. Room
114 and 113, the Axeman room.
The Axeman room.
Yeah, all that
they're
would
all
be great. So
Yeah.
we're going to, you can come with us. We're going to go up to the room now, and we're going to see what we can do
Yep.
and see if we find anything. We may
Let's
can,
do
we
it.
may not. You never know.
Let's do it.
Film me, please. Off camera. Put it out.
Okay, if you'll follow us now, we're going up to room 113 here at the Haunted Hotel. We got to go up some stairs, so don't make fun of me huffing and puffing up the stairs. And then we'll go right in the room.
Oh, look at that. They've got flood water.
All right.
Let's go, Kalua.
That's not the cold room.
Oh, that's the knock room. Oh, I'm thinking, correction, y'all. We're going to be in room 114, which is not the cold room.
Yeah.
It is the room where we heard the knock. No. No, I know, okay.
Well, look at that, just moving all on its own.
It is.
That's a little weird.
So actually, when we filmed here before, Carrie and I, we were here in this general area. And as we were talking, and we were the only ones in the whole hotel because it was during COVID, and actually we heard knocking. Oh, no,
Let me
this
get
is
the
very
AC
weird.
going.
That would be great. Now, I want to turn on the Ovilus first, to see if we get anything as we set up here.
Well, actually, are they going to be able to hear us with the AC?
Probably not, but
Turn it down. I would turn it down a little.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard to hear.
I wonder if
Yeah, that's fine.
no. I was trying to see if there was a fan only or something, but
Yeah, I don't think
it's still gonna be too loud.
Now, in our quest to find the Axeman that we're saying, but up here, I don't feel the Axeman.
No, I feel the Axeman in the back more.
Yes, he is. That's his area.
I feel like that's his domain. I could feel him before. I get a female up in this area. I feel a woman. I actually feel more than one. I feel one that's older and one that's younger. And it's been a long time since they were here. So that's.
I totally agree, because when we were in the next room, which was 113, we were here before filming. You know, I could feel a female spirit too.
Yeah.
And she, from what I gather, she kind of walks around this area here and looks out the windows and at the
Kind of
on the
patrols,
bow. Yeah, she
yeah.
kind of protects this area.
Yeah.
And I really think that she tries to protect it from the Axeman.
Oh, it could very well be that she's aware that his presence is here.
Right.
But I feel, are you talking about the older one or the younger one? Because I feel two. I definitely
Right.
feel two.
Now, one of those could possibly, I'm thinking, is the murder victim.
Oh, absolutely. That makes sense. Yeah. That
And
would
then
make
I'm
sense.
thinking the older lady is the one here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the older lady is the one here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think the older lady is the one here too.
Now we have Zach here with us, and he is going to work the L rods for us, and so we'll each get to ask some questions and see. You want to go first?
Okay.
So cross for yes and uncross for no.
Well, I'm going to ask in each one.
Okay.
Is there someone here who would like to communicate with us tonight? If there's someone here who would like to communicate with us, please cross the rods. If you would like to communicate with us tonight, please cross the rods. Did you just hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
And if you were listening to that and heard something, that was none of us.
That was none of us. That was like, it sounded like somebody knocking, and that's what happened when we were in this room before. If you would like to communicate with us, please cross the rods. If you would like to communicate with us, please cross the rods.
Now, if you'll look, they are kind of shaking and they're
Yeah.
wanting to do something. And
Yeah.
sometimes what you have to realize about spirits is that sometimes they're just not strong enough to do anything. It's not like
No.
somebody's not,
Yeah.
doing something or whatever, but if you'll notice that they're trying, like sometimes it'll take, if you think about it, the female, if you're the female that's here, the older female, can you cross these rods for us now, please?
I think I need to ask this question.
Yeah.
If you are uncomfortable with us being here, would you please cross the rods? If you don't want us to be here, would you please cross the rods?
I mean, they're just like,
Yeah,
it's like
I
she's
can
trying.
see it there. I can
Yeah.
see her there.
Yeah, because his hands aren't vibrating.
You're right.
Yeah. It's crossing, but it's taking quite a.
And you know what? That's okay because everybody can't cross the rods. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you know, there we go. All right. So I wonder now because we asked you like which is it because she's uncomfortable here or
Yeah.
with us being here or it always points at me. I don't know
Yeah.
why they always point at me. Sorry. Oh, now they're pointing at you, Carrie.
If you would, did you live in this house? Would you, hold on one second. Would you be willing to answer some questions for us? If you would be willing to answer some questions for us, would you please uncross the rods? If you would be willing to answer some questions for us, would you please uncross the rods? That was
There's a knock,
noise.
another knock, too.
Another knock. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you live in this house? If you lived in this building, would you please cross the rods? If you had lived in this building, would you please cross the rods? If you died in this building, would you please cross the rods? If you died in this building, would you please cross the rods? I'm getting resistance.
Yeah.
I'm getting resistance.
Now, another spirit that I had picked up here before was a male.
Mm-hmm.
And what I felt was he was married to the older lady.
Okay.
And he sometimes tries to get the X-Man to come this way. And that's why she protects us. Protects
Okay.
this right here. If you are the male, the husband, cross the rods. It's like there's two on here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, one's wanting to go one way, and one's wanting to go the other way. That's what I'm feeling, and that's why, because you can tell it's trying to do something, but then it's like this one will go in and then it'll move out,
Yeah.
and it'll, and that's what I'm thinking. It's like you said, resistance.
How do you feel, Zach, when you're holding them? Are you feeling anything pulling them? Are you feeling anything?
When they cross, there's definitely something pulling them. Really,
Yeah.
really strong whenever they do cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I am feeling what y'all are saying, like there's a polarity between them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also feeling nauseous right
Would you
now.
like to sit down?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying that there's something.
Oh, see, there's
Yeah.
and actually, is this someone else?
It may be. Yeah, it could be. Let's ask.
All right.
If you are a new spirit that's here, would you please cross the rods? If you are a new spirit that's here, would you please cross the rods? I believe the answer is yes to that, but that's okay.
Right.
Yep. If you are the Axeman, would you please cross the rods? If you are the Axeman, would you please cross the rods? Yeah, I'm getting a headache now too.
I almost
Something
want to
shifted.
say it's a younger male, maybe recently passed.
Maybe.
In the courtyard, I was getting headaches and nausea from that.
That I believe is the Axeman, and that's doing that.
He definitely followed her. Kahlua saw him too.
This
Yeah.
one was making me feel weak.
Yeah.
Because when it
We
did
can
like
take a
it,
break
when
for
it
a
when it
minute,
did
Zach.
like
We can
this,
take a break.
you want me to hold? When it did this earlier, that's when I felt he was here or a new spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is everybody feeling okay, or y'all still with the headaches and?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little off, but that's okay.
Just take a moment.
Yeah.
Use your other piece for a moment.
What's the Oculus then?
Let's see. We'll see if we can get anything on the Ovilus.
No, give me the rods.
Europe. So we're going to listen to this. I was wanting to do the necrophonic real quick. That's the one that we did over there.
Yeah. That's another one.
I'm
too.
still thinking a young male recently passed.
Okay. It may be. We'll have to find out. Now, this is called the Necrophonic App. And a lot of the ghost hunters on TV and on YouTube, they do it in, let's see here.
What is this app and what does it do?
Right, it's called the Necrophonic App, and what it does is a spirit can communicate.
What does it use?
It uses like a phonetic, it uses like frequencies, like different frequencies, and it scans through, and you can hear it, and I've got this, the speaker, so we can hear better this time than last time.
Cool.
All right? Sit around. Okay.
Wow.
I said, wow, never heard it say wow before. My name is Misty, and I'm here with my friend CARI and Catherine and Raina and Zachary, and we're here. Who is here with us? Let me turn this up. Okay. Who's here with us? Okay. Would it be a male or a female here? Just listen.
Male and a female.
My name is Misty. What is your name? It's not coming on us here. Sorry, y'all. Let me.
You were able to hear it fine.
Okay. There we go. Now. Can you say the name of someone in this room? What?
Misty.
Sounded like Misty.
Yes,
Very
my name's
much.
Misty. Nice to meet you, I guess. And what is your name? I need some of those hearing things that you put on because it's like hard to hear sometimes. So that's basically. Yeah. Anybody? You want to have a question you want to ask?
Yeah.
Nope, you're good. So this is just one of the tools that you can use. Is the Necrophonic App, and also the Ovilus. And me, I like just using the old-fashioned way that me and Carrie use, and just ourselves,
Intuition.
and right,
Yeah.
and know where things are.
Being a channel.
Right.
Are you
So-
feeling any better, Carrie?
Not really.
No.
Okay, we're gonna cut it short.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. You want me to ask some questions while you hold it?
I was just holding it and they're moving all over the
Okay.
place.
I was wondering maybe if that was in response to some of the questions that I had asked for the Necrophonic App.
Because they went from complete opposite directions to cross.
If you can set them like normal.
And come in to frame.
Right.
Thank
It's our friend Raina. All right. If you're a female, can you please cross the rods?
They opened.
If you're a male, can you cross the rods? Well,
very resistant tonight. Very.
and we can do this all night, and they're not. They're going to.
And
do what
Kalawa's
they
over
wanna
here
do, you
whining
know.
for some
When I was on
reason.
camera, they were going crazy.
Right. There might be just shy. You know,
Yeah.
they don't want to be
Because
filmed.
when I was
or-
standing behind the camera, they were reacting to every question y'all asked.
Right. Let me try this one time, and just see. I'm not saying that y'all can't do it, but I'm just.
I would like to ask when
Okay,
you're
just one
ready
moment. Okay, let's do it.
what I'm thinking all along.
Go
Is
ahead.
it a young male who recently passed? Crossed the rods.
No, there's not communicating.
Yeah, just absolutely none.
Yep. All right. Yep. Well, we
Wow.
did get some things here. We did get some
Knocks.
knocks. We got
Yeah.
2 or 3 knocks. Kalawa's
Yeah.
been kind of sensing a spirit too. And if you were in this room right now physically with us, you would feel like kind of a heaviness.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm a little out of breath, and not just because I climbed up the stairs, thank you, but because I am out of breath because of the feeling and of what's
It's just a
here.
barometric pressure.
Because when we first walked in this room, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
But like as soon as we kind of, walked in and got settled and kind of brought out the equipment, then it became
Yeah.
more heavier. And this has been going, and I really feel that this is one of the most haunted rooms here at the Haunted Hotel. This one, and especially 113 over here.
I agree. I think
Is-
these, and then the Axeman's room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Beneath that.
Beneath
too.
that one,
These are
too.
very haunted. Yeah, these are definitely haunted rooms.
Well, we appreciate you coming out
thank
tonight.
you.
Thank you for
No,
doing a
thank
mini
you.
ghost hunt with us.
Yeah,
and,
thank you. Y'all
and-
should keep it going.
Yeah, we just might. I don't know, but I appreciate you so much for coming and hanging out, and I guess we're going to do the gift certificate to
Yeah.
Raina.
Yay!
Raina.
Yay! Yep.
So I'll give that to you when we get downstairs. Yeah, but thank y'all so much for listening, and we're live. I mean, there's no mistake, or if there's mistakes, you see them. If there's not,
That's
you see
right.
it. So
Yeah.
the
Live
real
with the
deal,
dead.
right? So thank you so much, and stay tuned next month for the 4th episode of the Thin Veil Project. Have a good night.